The reason I am so passionate about human potential in the personal development industry is because of a life-altering event I experienced a very long time ago. I was in a tragic head-on collision when I was a teenager, like back in 1976. The crash was so severe, I wound up in the hospital, in traction, immobile, bedridden for quite some time. My foot actually was crushed in the accident. I had a pin in my foot. It was an absolute nightmare. It is amazing how these doctors were able to put me all back together again. I'm very lucky to be alive. After the accident, I had to go through months and months of grueling therapy to recuperate. It was a ton of work. I literally had to learn how to walk again. I will never forget when the doctor came in to give us the update about the operation. He told my mom and dad and I that the surgery was successful. And it was. I mean, how they were able to put me all back together again, it was an absolute miracle. But he said that most likely I wouldn't be able to walk very well. And I definitely would have to walk with a cane, like for the rest of my life, you know. So that meant for me, no dancing. Like I have been a dancer, a little ballerina, ever since I was 3 years old. I played tennis, I played basketball, like downhill skied. I mean, none of that I would be able to do again. It would stop. So for a teenager, that felt like a life sentence. You know, I was devastated. My mom stood up and she walked over to the doctor. And she thanked him gratefully for all the work they had all done. It was just absolutely a miracle. But she looked at him and she says, Laura's going to be fine. You don't know our daughter very well. She's gonna get a hold of this. She's gonna be up and running and soon, you know? And that was it. She made a decision. I was gonna be fine. So she came over to Dad and I, and with the three of us, my mom, Dad, and myself. My little brother wasn't there at the time. We had a little group hug, and she didn't even have to say anything. She just looked at me as if to say, come on, Laura, let's do this, you know? And I did. That moment was a crossroad for me because I made a decision at that time. I was going to beat this. I was going to be bigger and better than I was after I took care of all this, right? It certainly wasn't easy, but with the love and support I had from my family and the friends, I was able to do just that. So while I was stuck in that hospital for all that time, and then I had to go back home, and I was in a cast and then a walking cast and then crutches and went on and on. I mean, I had nothing to do, you know, so I started reading books. I don't like soaps. So I started reading personal development, self-improvement, positive mental attitude, positive mindset, energy, metaphysics. I mean, I read anything I could get my hands on. And I am still studying to this day. I became obsessed with personal development and I read everything I could get my hands on, even 100-year-old classics. That amazing information. I attended workshops, seminars, courses. The more I studied, the more I invested in myself, the better my results. And I kept studying. I didn't realize it then, but that accident was the start of a massive transformation for me. As painful as it was, it became the catalyst for me that is everything that I have good in my life right now. I'm very grateful. So for anyone that might be watching this interview right now, you may be going through a really difficult time. Start getting excited. Sometimes your worst obstacle becomes your greatest gift, just like this accident that I had, as long as you choose to see it that way.